This is like, for example, if Tyler Cameron murdered a contestant on The Bachelor. Like, what? Hello and welcome to my kitchen and welcome to Killer Dishes. My name is Triana and this is my first video. On this channel, I'm going to be teaching you how to make some kind of delicious little morsel, or maybe a snack, or maybe a cocktail, something to serve to your guests or give to your bratty kids when they come home from school and they're hungry. And I'm also going to be telling you about some sort of gruesome murder or some, horrible death, and something just totally violent and shocking. So welcome and thank you for being here. I'd like to first take a minute to thank the sponsor of this video, my husband, who remodeled this kitchen for me. He's also never going to watch any of my videos because he hates true crime. Today, I'm going to be telling you about the gruesome murder of Jasmine Fiore. I have a very close connection to this murder because it happened on a reality TV show with a production company where I used to work. However, the murder happened before I started working for this company, so I never signed an NDA. Let's get on with the story. Oh, also, I'm going to be making today a Mediterranean pita pocket. Just super easy to make. I'm not going to be telling you step by step what I'm doing and how I'm making it, but you guys have been here longer than I have, so you know where to find the recipe and everything that you're going to need. So let's move on with the story. Picture it. The year is 2009. We were watching reality TV like it was our job. We had a ton of shows on the air, one being Rock of Love. Well, there was a contestant on that show named Megan Hauserman, and she really got the attention of the production company, so much so that she got a spin-off show called Megan Wants a Millionaire. Essentially, it was exactly like The Bachelor, but this time Megan was in charge and Megan was gonna find herself an eligible millionaire. One of the contestants on this reality show was named Ryan Jenkins. He was a self-described millionaire real estate developer from Canada. Well, Megan was really into him because he made it all the way down to the final 3 contestants on the show. However, reality TV show producers started getting in Megan's ear and telling her, listen, Meg, we know that you're into this guy, but he's not coming across very well in the interviews, so basically, if you pick him, it's not a good look for you. Being the sport that Megan was, she forewent her love connection with Ryan Jenkins and eliminated him from the show. So Ryan bounced back really quickly. What did he do? He went straight to Vegas, where he met and fell in love with a gorgeous woman named Jasmine Fiore. Jasmine Fiore was a 26-year-old up-and-coming model from Santa Cruz, California. She had a few credits under her belt. She did some swimsuit modeling. She did a few television commercials that were for fun party lines. And she was also one of those really sexy models that would do body painting at these big fancy parties where she would walk around all sexy and body painted. She meets Ryan Jenkins and they fall in love in Vegas. 2 days after meeting Ryan Jenkins, they get married. Yep, that's right. Ryan and Jasmine had such a whirlwind romance that 2 days after meeting each other, they get married in Vegas at the Little White Chapel. Guess who else got married at the Little White Chapel? Britney Spears. A little bit of trivia for you. They're doing great, right? They're popping bottles, they're having fun, they're in Vegas. When lo and behold, producers from Megan Wants a Millionaire call up Ryan and say, hey Ryan, great news. We have another show that's about to go into production and we want you to be on it. The show was called I Love Money, and it was a competition-based show where contestants were competing for a chance to win $250,000. Ryan needs this, right? He has represented himself to Jasmine as being a millionaire. He's told her that he's just come off of this show called Megan Wants a Millionaire. He's about to become a D-list celebrity. This is great for Jasmine, right? She's an up-and-coming model. She's, you know, in a certain lifestyle where she's dating a lot of dudes that have money and status, and she thinks that, you know, presumably, she thinks that hooking up with Ryan is also going to be good for her career and good for her status. It's going to elevate her. So Ryan is like, Jasmine, love ya, mean it, gotta go. I'm off to go film I Love Money Too. So he's off. He goes and he's sequestered on set shooting I Love Money Too. As I said before, I worked at this production company, so I have some inside intel on what was going on during the filming of I Love Money. And what I've heard from producers is that while he was shooting the show, Ryan was aggressively trying to get in touch with Jasmine. He is texting her, where are you? What's going on? Where are you? And she's not really reciprocating. He was, as the kids would say, simping. He was hardcore simping on Jasmine, who was, sources say, sort of rekindling with her ex. Ryan catches wind of this and he's falling apart. He is desperate. He feels like he's losing Jasmine, okay? There's some motive here. Do you see where I'm going with this? He's sequestered onto this set, he can't get to her, and he's catching wind that the ex-boyfriend is making a comeback. So he's in full desperation mode. Ryan ends up winning the show. Fantastic. Ryan needs this. Ryan needs this money. He needs to continue, you know, being the rich millionaire that he's represented to Jasmine that he is, and he wins. He comes home and he's back with Jasmine, but things are not going well. She's starting to realize that Ryan is not of the wealth and status that he has proclaimed to be. I mean, he doesn't live in a mansion. He lives in a condo in West Hollywood, okay? This is not what Jasmine signed up for. They're having problems, okay? They're on the rocks. They go to a poker tournament in San Diego. Del Mar, to be specific. In any case, I digress. They are seen checking into a hotel. They go to the poker tournament. This is confirmed. They go to a nightclub. They're there until all hours of the night, presumably having a good time. But are they? Jasmine is not seen returning from the hotel. It's possible she came in through a back door where there weren't cameras, but Ryan was seen re-entering the hotel. So where is Jasmine? The following morning, Ryan is seen leaving the hotel alone. Again, where is Jasmine? We don't know. A couple days later, Ryan reports his wife missing to law enforcement. He tells them that they came home from San Diego, she went to run errands, she left at about 8:30 p.m. Following night at about 9 p.m., he reports her missing. He doesn't know where his wife is. Police start looking for Jasmine, and what does Ryan do? What does Ryan do when his wife is missing? Law enforcement calls him up and he says, I'm in Utah. I'm having some immigration issues, so I had to go to Utah to work things out with immigration. Your wife is missing, and now is the time that you choose to go out of state to deal with your immigration issues. I'm not buying your story. What is more important than finding your wife? If my husband was missing, I would be like a raging lunatic on the streets, door knocking everywhere, saying, where the hell is my husband? I do it to him all the time. If he doesn't answer my calls in like an hour, I'm out there looking for him, right? I'm psychotic. At any rate, Ryan's actually not in Utah. Ryan is actually in Nevada, picking up his family's speedboat. He takes said speedboat and he cruises up to the border of Canada. He walks across the Canadian border. Okay, this man is traveling by land, by sea, by foot, into another country. But he's maintaining his innocence and saying that he is cooperating with law enforcement to help find his missing wife. brother. Ladies, I've said this before, and I will say it again. It's always the husband. And if it's not the husband, it's the boyfriend. What happens next is really the gruesome part here. It's ugly, okay? Law enforcement finds the body of a young woman, naked, stuffed in a suitcase. She has been strangled, and her fingertips have been cut off, and her teeth have been pulled out, presumably so that law enforcement can't identify the body. You thought you got us, Ryan. You thought you had us licked, but guess what? Guess how law enforcement ultimately identified the body? The serial number on her implants. You weren't expecting that, were you, Ryan? We're on to you, pal. We're on to you, and we're coming for you. Nationwide manhunt. It's on every news channel. It's everywhere, okay? His face is splattered all over the news. He is the most wanted man in America. He's the most wanted man on reality TV. This is like, for example, if Tyler Cameron murdered a contestant on The Bachelor. Like, what? Love is Blind. Can you imagine if Shake turns up like murdering Deepti? This is where we are, okay? I've been working on this case since 2009, and I say working on the case because I'm basically a detective. So I'm glued. I'm out there looking for him, right? I'm all over this. We're coming towards the end here, guys. I mean, his days are numbered. His next move, he checks into a seedy, dirty, nasty little motel in Canada. He checks in with a young lady who is described to be an attractive, blonde, 20-something, who checks in for Ryan and pays in cash. And she pays for a 3-day stay at the hotel. She stays for about 20 minutes. She leaves. She's never seen again. I mean, she's not murdered or anything, but like she just doesn't come back onto the scene. We later find out that this is actually Ryan's half-sister. Fantastic. So his family is helping him hide. Great. Just the utter disgust. Unbelievable. So the 3 days pass. And the hotel owner notices that there's been very little activity in Ryan's room. Once he was seen talking on his cell phone outside in the parking lot, and the hotel owner said that he looked terrible. And I'm not surprised. I mean, if you were the most hated man in America and the world was hunting you down, I'm gonna guess that you're looking a little worse for the wear. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was ridden hard and put away dirty. They see him one time talking on the cell phone outside of his hotel. The 3 days goes by, they don't see him again. So the owner's like, let me bring my nephew to check out what's going on in this room, because this guy should have checked out today. We haven't seen him. And this is where Ryan's story comes to an end. The hotel owner goes into Ryan's hotel room, and they discover his body hanging from a clothes rack that was nailed to the wall. He killed himself. He did not leave a suicide note. He did, however, leave a document on his laptop entitled Last Will and Testament. Sources have said that he never confessed to Jasmine's murder, but he did make references to Jasmine and said things that kind of alluding to the fact that this whole mess was Jasmine's fault. So he has taken no responsibility for this and instead shifted the blame onto Jasmine. His family came out later and said that Jasmine was Ryan's only friend in California and that she would disappear for days on end, and this was really hard for Ryan. Oh, Ryan, really? Was your fragile male ego damaged because your girlfriend wanted to go off and like hang out with her friends for a couple days, to the fact that you had to murder her and pull out her teeth, you weirdo? Ugh, lunatic. Awful. Ultimately, no justice for Jasmine's family. Ryan's family still hanging on to his innocence. And that's where this story ends. I'm gonna dive into this Mediterranean pita pocket. If you try out this recipe and you like it, let me know in the comments below. If you don't like it, take it up with my friend Kat Ritchson, because that's who I stole this recipe for. And also, if you enjoyed this story, you know what to do. I don't need to tell you, you've been here longer than I have, so you know you're gonna like and subscribe and do all of the things that people do. You know what to do. I'm gonna work on my next case, and thank you so much for coming to my kitchen. I will see you next time on Killer.